Dave again. It's week 5.5, 5.5 weeks since my surgery. Just happened to be wearing the same clothes as I did in week 3. uh, so let's see. Now I've learned to overcome what, they were major problems when I had them. The rubbing of my shirt, that pain. I now how to overcome that now, and it actually doesn't really happen anymore. And then gas pains, I've learned how to avoid that. And also, that naturally is being reduced by my stomach healing. But gas is still a very real danger to me. If I get gas, man, it just hurts beyond belief. Um, Hiccups, still, I don't want to have hiccups. I learned how to get around them. I learned how to stop them. But they still happen, and it still doesn't feel good to have hiccups. It never feels good, right? Nobody likes the hiccups, but in my case, I'm worried about the mesh stitching in my diaphragm and the stitching in my stomach. So I really don't want to have hiccups. Uh, I've learned to avoid getting the hiccups, and I've learned how to get rid of the hiccups if they do come. Mainly, avoiding hiccups is just, don't overeat. Uh, that seems to be the only thing in my case that causes me to get the hiccups is overeating. I've learned that my stomach is now effectively a lot smaller than it was before the surgery. So I have to eat a little bit and then stop. I eat a little bit more and then stop. A friend told me that after every mouthful, every forkful of food, I should put my fork down and chew it real well and then swallow. And then, only then, pick up my fork and look for another forkful of food. And that works great. I don't need to do that all the time though, but that's a good habit to get in. I can walk as far as I want now. I walk all day, and I still feel my incisions, but they're not like a problem. Um, what are the problems at week 5? I still, have to avoid swallowing liquids too fast. Like I can't chug water like I used to. I have to drink 2 or 3 swallows, and then I have to stop and wait and see. That's water. With other things, I have to be even more careful. I did, don't tell anybody this, but I did try a little bit of soda. That was my big fear. But a couple weeks ago, no, just earlier this week, I was at a place where I didn't have anything else, and I started to get hungry, and I was worried that if I don't put something in my stomach, it would turn ugly. And the only thing really available to me was a soda machine. So I got some root beer. Now that was a big fear of mine, to drink soda. Imagine how the gas that might be produced in your stomach. So I tried it, just like 1 milliliter at a time. I tried it. And then I went to 10 or 20 milliliters um, in a gulp. And it worked fine. And there was no problem with this fresh soda, fresh root beer in my stomach. I had no problem with that. I'm eating some solid foods without any problem. I'm approaching the 6 week limit that my doctor told me no bread whatsoever. Well, guess what? I've been really good up to 5 weeks. I'm starting to transition to bread products, and I don't have any problem whatsoever. Uh, I started almost a week ago. Week 4.5, I started with some bread, some toast with peanut butter, and I keep almond milk on hand. I've switched to avoiding dairy now. Almond milk on hand to help me in case there's a problem with the toast, but there isn't. It just, everything works great. But the doctor warned me, you know, bread absorbs all the liquids in your esophagus and your stomach, and it could create huge problems. So drink, if when I do transition to bread products, there has to be a lot of liquid with it. So I'm careful to do that. And after I eat like toast with peanut butter, even after it's gone, I'll just keep drinking water or some almond milk just to make sure that that bread isn't going to dry out my esophagus or my stomach. Uh, those anti-gas medications that I take, it's just one really good medicine in a green gel cap. I don't know what it's called, but it's great. Um, that's been really helpful to get rid of the gas that naturally builds up in my stomach. I am easily able to belch gas that gets caught in my esophagus. It's not a problem. Uh, I can, I can belch gas from my stomach. It doesn't seem to be happening much anymore at all, but I don't think it can't happen. But there are places, I guess, in my stomach where gas can get trapped and it doesn't come out. And that gets so painful. You can't imagine. I mean, it's just like someone stabbed me with like a hot spear. So that's the only thing I need to avoid. Pretty soon I will, it's going to be 6 weeks, and the doctor had said after 6 weeks I can do whatever exercise I want. I can do sit-ups, push-ups, running, etc. Now, when I run, this is the only real pain that's still residual. When I run, I have belly fat, and even though, I've lost about a little over 20 pounds since the surgery. But when I run, my stomach, not my abdominal wall, but my stomach goes up and down. And that hurts the incisions, the incision scars. After 6 weeks, it's not going to do any damage, right? But it hurts. It does not feel good. And that pain will last for a few minutes afterward. So running, I'm going to have to transition slowly. But I'm going to start being free to do any other exercises, I guess later this week. And then I have other surgery starting Wednesday. So that's going to be another 2-week recovery. So that's going to be really dreadful. But as far as my fundoplication and the removal of part of my stomach, I feel great. I'm glad I had it. I think I'm better now than I was before the surgery. Even there's some small pains, but now I don't have to worry when I go to sleep about acid reflux killing me in my sleep or waking me up or anything like that. And I'm losing a lot of weight. So that's very helpful to sleep apnea too. So, this has been a great experience, and I'm glad I did it. I'm almost done with these updates now. Probably one more before my next surgery, and then I'll move on to the other surgery updates. So I hope it's been helpful to you. Thanks.